Welcome to Crown Level Confidence with Kalia Janae, the podcast where we empower and inspire you to achieve unstoppable confidence and self-belief. I'm your host, Kalia Janae, a wife, mom, entrepreneur, as well as a certified life coach and motivational speaker with a background in humanities and communication. I'm excited to navigate this transformative journey with you. In each episode, I'll bring you candid conversations, practical tips, and inspiring stories from remarkable women who have conquered many challenges and risen to new heights. Get ready to have your crown straightened as we listen, learn, and laugh together so we can level up. Let's dive in. Hello, y'all. Welcome to this new episode of Crown Level Confidence, where we are leading women worldwide to lower their stress and raise their levels of confidence. Y'all, I am so excited to bring to you a true treasure, a good girlfriend of mine, Tiona. Tiona, say hey.
Hey.
Yeah, we met earlier this year, and when I say a true treasure, we met at an event, and it was, we weren't even looking for each other, and our spirits just collided. We were just in conversation with someone else, and then we just kind of latched onto each other and have not let go since. She's an amazing person, very smart, very beautiful, like striking, like what? but beautiful, kind, smart, just all of the things. And I'm excited to share her with y'all. I'm sharing my friend with y'all. And so let me tell you a little bit more about her specifically. And then, we're going to dive into a very juicy conversation. Okay. So my friend, Tiona Nichols, serves as a senior people operations specialist for a tech startup during the day. And in her free time during evenings and weekends, she's an avid blogger. Her guiding life mantra is leave people better than you found them. And she's proudly, of course, a USC alum. Hey, fight on. So thank you very much for sharing your time here with us, in advance. I already know the conversation is going to be great. Like I said, we connected instantly, just energies colliding, just like, yes. And then we just didn't let go. So, Tiona, for those who are getting to know you, right? And I still am too. I don't know everything about her yet, but I'm just here for it all. I'm just soaking her up every chance I get. So kind of tell us a little bit more about you and how you got to be where you are today.
Yeah. Well, first off, wow. Thank you for that introduction. Like, I'm blushing. That was the best introduction ever. And y'all, she's not kidding. We met and we latched onto each other, and we have stayed in touch. We text each other all the time. Unfortunately, we're in different states, but I swear if we lived in the same state, we'd never pull us apart. But yeah, where I got, today, my story, my journey, it's been a journey. Mm-hmm. I'm originally from Southern California. I moved to Texas when I was 22. I was almost 23. And I was given an opportunity to move here. And I felt like if I didn't take it, I would be stuck in my Orange County bubble for the rest of my life. I saw this as my way out. And I do think it was the best decision I ever made for myself because it got me out of that bubble. But that's what taught me my independence. Is getting out and being on my own. I don't have any family here in Texas, so I had to figure it out.
Yes, I know all about forging that path.
Yeah. Yes. But I did feel like I was always one of the lucky ones because I thought I had always known what I wanted to do. I was going to study criminology. I was going to become a criminologist. Actually, at first, I thought I was going to become a parole officer.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Big change there. And then I was like, no, let's do something bigger. I'll get a PhD. I'll become a criminologist, a tenured professor, do research in my fields. I really thought I could make a big change in a broken system. But of course, as people heard, that's not my title today. Just when you think you have it figured out, life throws you curveballs.
Every time.
Every time. So as I was finishing my degrees, I started working in a tech startup as an HR generalist. I truly just needed a job. I needed money and I needed the flexibility. Startups tend to have more flexible schedules. And of course, the kicker is I ended up loving it. I loved everything about it. And I had my manager come up to me and ask me point blank, should we invest in you and your growth here? Are you going to continue with this, or are you going to leave when you finish your degrees and go study in the field that you want? That's a fair question. And I took some time to think on it and decided I would finish my degrees, but stick with the people space. So at 28, 29, I think that's how old I was then, I decided to start anew. Begin my career in the people space. And I've had a lot of people ask me if I regret letting my degrees go to waste, spend all that money when I don't use them. But the thing is I do use them. I don't regret them. I think they were incredibly helpful. Criminology and criminal justice is the study of people in the system. And now I'm just essentially studying people in a completely different realm. And all while I'm moving from one state to the next and starting a new career, finishing degrees in another field, I decided to start a blog. Because why not, right? But what I've realized, all this to say, is, now that years have gone by, I'm a little bit more settled in what I do and who I am and what I write about. The common denominator was always people.
Yes.
And I've just always wanted to make an impact on people, no matter what space that was in.
Wow. And that's huge. Like, just to be one person to say, listen, I'm aware that my existence can cause a ripple and I want it to be a positive one is huge. A lot of people have these blinders on or tunnel vision, and it doesn't necessarily mean they're coming from a bad place or that they're selfish people or bad people, but they're not necessarily taking into account what they're putting out there and how it can affect others, right? So ultimately, you're not responsible for everyone around you, but you're mindful. And I think that's huge to highlight because, again, a lot of people just aren't thinking about those things. It's kind of in a pattern of society right now where it's all about like me and I, and that's great, right? You do need to build yourself up, not at the expense of others. We need to tear anyone else down, but it's just, I think that's very admirable of you, especially in, I think it's early adulthood.
Yes,
psychologist, but I think it's early adulthood for you to take all of that into consideration and to handle all of these different opportunities for growth, right? Because you could have, been inflexible and have this rigidity of, no, I'm going to do X, Y, Z and stay in a struggle mindset or just tough it out because of what you thought would be expected of you, externally or other people's perceptions or whatever. And you have to let that stuff go and do what's best for you. And it sounds like that's what you were able to do.
Absolutely. And it's totally fair to say that I was stuck in that. This is my 5-year plan. This is my 10-year plan. This is exactly what I'm going to do. This is exactly what I'm going to school for. This is the difference I'm going to make. But that's not realistic. And life is just one giant ebb and flow. And once I learned that, my entire just perspective changed.
Yeah, that's huge. Okay, so you mentioned it a little bit, but tell us about this blog, right? Yeah. Because I know more than everybody else here, but I want them to know, from you, what exactly you are putting out on the world besides this gorgeous smile, y'all. But the content that you're putting out there, tell us, more about it, where you're coming from, what we are to expect, just kind of bring us into the blog.
Yeah, you do know about my blog, but I actually don't know if you know that I had a blog prior to the one that I have now.
Ooh, no. Okay, do share.
Yes. So when I had first moved to Texas, as I had mentioned, I didn't have family here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started a blog originally for my family so that they could see what I was up to. I was posting, places I was traveling, things I was eating, my outfits, which is always fun to look back on because I'm like, oh, I thought that was so cool. Beauty. And what's interesting about that blog is, yes, it was for my family, but I obviously posted it on Instagram as well. Mm-hmm. And it gained some traction.
Wow.
And when it gained traction, that's when I started following other bloggers, seeing what they were doing. And that's when I started comparing myself.
Oh.
And I started posting, things that they were doing, sales that they were talking about, clothes that they were buying, topics they were discussing. And then the traction stopped. Mm-hmm. My family was still supportive. They have to be.
Right.
But I was like, wait, what happened to that traction? Mm-hmm. And had to take some time to reflect. What was I doing prior? What am I doing now? Mm-hmm. And of course, it's that aha moment of you are trying to be like everyone else.
Right.
Yeah. Story, right? Mm-hmm. And so I went back to just posting genuinely and authentically in my style. I really appreciate my style. I think that I'm very adaptable. I love neutrals. I love simplicity, but I love a pop of color. Mm-hmm. I think style is just really fun, but it had gone back to gaining traction, and I was incredibly lucky. I actually had brand deals with L'Oreal, wow. Philosophy. So it was really fun. Mm-hmm. It was a really cool experience. But then I got into my master's degree program.
Right.
So I was working on my master's degree at USC. I was working full time, mm-hmm. and I was trying to run this blog that I had originally started for my family, but had gained traction. Something had to give.
Yeah.
And of course it was my blog.
Yeah.
I know. But fast forward to this year, mm-hmm. I have very much settled into my career. I very much have settled into who I am as a person, as a woman.
Yeah.
And I missed writing. Mm-hmm. I missed the writing part. The brand deals were awesome. I won't say no. But I found myself having so many thoughts in my head, and I'm like, how do I get this all out? I want people to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I brought it back. I brought the blog back. I started fresh. Mm-hmm. And this time around, it's the same. It's still beauty and style. Mm-hmm. Those things will never change for me.
Right.
They'll evolve, hopefully. But they're always going to be there. But now I talk about wellness, mm-hmm. and mental health and leadership. I tie in what I do for a living with what I write about. I've been on webinars, so I've posted those on my blog so that anyone who's interested can watch them. Of course, as you know, my bread and butter are my inspirational weekly quotes. Mm-hmm. I post them on my blog. I text them to my closest friends. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I feel like my first blog was me trying to figure out who I was. Mm-hmm. It was fun. I was going through a lot, there was a lot of transitions, mm-hmm. but this blog feels like me. It feels confident and sure and fun. If anyone goes to my blog, it's quirky, it's colorful. There's aliens on it. It's just, life should be fun. And I really, the theme of this blog is the ebbs and flows of life. Mm-hmm. It's trusting your journey. It's the entire purpose is I just want to make people feel less alone.
Absolutely.
We're all living this crazy, beautiful, messy, complicated life on this revolving earth rock.
Right.
It's fun and it's lonely and it's weird and it's joyous and happy. think that people get caught up
absolutely
in who they think they should be.
Yes, so, the dirty word should.
And so I write about my journey and my struggles and my good days and my bad days and my mental health and just all of the ebbs and flows of life. And I just want to remind people that we're in this together and no one has it figured out.
Right. And that's so important because, again, I'm the resident mindset coach here, right? And obviously the podcast is called Crown Level Confidence. And we're always discussing here, there are different levels to confidence. There's different categories to confidence, especially as women, right? We have so many different roles that we wear or that we take on, you know? We just have a lot going. It's complicated, right? And where you may be feeling a certain level of confidence, you know, at work, it might change in your relationships. It might change with your friends, or, you know, it might change with what you see in the mirror or whatever that looks like for you. And so just for people to embrace this idea of it's your level of confidence is not transcendent, right? It is uncovering imposter syndrome to be like, well, I'm so confident at work. Why am I feeling less than when I come home? Just embrace that. You don't have to stay there, but just to embrace that it's okay that there are these differences will allow you to then work on that area and not feel ashamed. So I'm so glad that you mentioned your previous podcast, because it sounds like that one was, you know, about adventure and discovery and, you know, all of those different things in adolescence, you know, younger adulthood. And now you're coming from this place of experience, right? Like you're not just putting something out there. There's a message attached to it. There's some encouragement attached to it. There's some insight, you know, that you're now able to bring because you've grown, you know?
Yep. And I'm still growing.
Absolutely.
You know, we're always evolving, and to say that, you know, to sit here and say I'm confident in my own skin, just like what you said, and I'm so glad you said it because it's so powerful. It's not every day. You know, I'm very confident right now. I'm having a great time chatting with you, a good friend of mine, but there are days where, you know, maybe I just wake up on the wrong side of the bed and I look in the mirror and I'm like, ugh, yikes, what happened? That's just life.
Right.
And I know it's going to be okay. It's a bad day. It's not a bad life. I know it's cheesy to say.
No, listen, I'm constantly throwing cliches out there because I think it's great. You remember them? But you know, it's true. You know, a bad moment does not need to be a whole bad day, does not need to be a whole bad week, you know, so on and so forth. You know, you're the one that's in control of your pivot, right? And what that pivot point looks like.
Okay.
So you have to kind of determine. And it's funny because I talk about this with my husband a lot, where it's like, okay, I'm going to allow myself to be upset this amount of time. And it seems like that's rigid. That's cold. Like, feel your feelings. Okay, I felt it, but I got more stuff to do. You know, so it's like, acknowledge it. Don't cover it up. I'm not advocating for, you know, dismissing hurt or pain. Like, it is there. It was real. That happened. If you need to go to therapy or, you know, get some help as to how to overcome it, by all means, please do. I got a list I can refer you to. But my point is, you cannot stay there an extended amount of time because, like she said, this rock that we're on this earth is going to keep revolving. Time is going to keep going by, and you're going to lose not just opportunities or money or whatever, but it's yourself, right? You'll think back and like, wow, I spent a lot of time thinking about that situation that already happened. That's not gonna go back and change in the past, right? Like when I think about you telling us how you started your blog over, you could have very easily, and maybe you did at some point, say, well, I don't know because I already did it. And what if people don't want to follow my second one because I stopped the first one? And you go this whole like, oh, what if it's a little bit different and they don't like it this time? Or what if they're expecting how it was before? You know, that's okay. Those are very real possibilities, right? You acknowledge them and now you keep going with what it is you want to do. You know, you have to act on your ideas, and that in and of itself is an act of self-love. Yes. Right? Like, how does it feel when you go to work and you have an idea and they just shoot it down? It hurts. You're hurting yourself every time you have an inspiration and you kill it, imaging yourself. So to be able to be someone that can say, okay, I'm just gonna do it. Okay, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna keep doing it. It's gonna grow. It's gonna change. I will tweak it here and there as I see fit, or based on if you have people giving you feedback, I encourage feedback.
Oh, absolutely.
It helps us to be better, to sharpen our skills, but all of that to say, you grow, you give yourself another chance to build, those muscles, and to keep doing more, and to keep figuring out what you like and what you don't like. Because, failure is just a construct. Like, we're not in school anymore. This is not a test, right? Like, the only test is to see how you're going to bounce back from it.
Yes.
But the fact that it happened is pretty much inevitable if you're going to start something. So just go ahead and embrace it.
Yes. It's just all about starting sometimes. To your point, I did it. I had to think a lot about bringing the blog back. But I'm telling you, once I started, it was on. I was having so much fun writing again on different topics, and the ideas just flow. Even talking about it with you right now, I'm like thinking, oh, that would be a really good topic for the blog.
Absolutely.
About, receiving feedback, but I think that's a skill in itself, giving and receiving feedback.
Oh yeah.
I think that's in life, personally and professionally. So I think that'd be a great topic that maybe I can write on. Thank you.
So, okay. We have women of all different professions, perspectives come, on the show. So I want to know, in only the way that you can put it, the best way you know how, what advice would you give people who they're living their own lives, they're on their journey, right? And they may be in a particular season of life, but they're not liking it. It's not great. It doesn't feel the best, right? They're not sure about the light at the end of the tunnel. So how would you encourage them to stay on the journey? Like, what do you have to share for that person who is coming up on a transition, but they don't feel the change happening yet?
Yeah. Trust the journey. Stay patient and trust your journey. Trust that the little tedious day-to-day moments are opportunities for growth.
Wow.
Because it's those small moments that will prove value over time in a drastic way.
Wow.
It's the small moments that add up. It's the small habits that add up. I promise you are not too old. You are not too young to do anything that you want to do. You can always start fresh. You can always start anew. You might be afraid, but say yes anyways. I was actually nervous to do this podcast with you, because I've never done one. This is actually my first podcast.
Hey.
But I said yes immediately.
She did.
Without even thinking.
I was very happy. When?
Exactly. And I'm so glad I did. One, of course, just to chat with you, but it's already been so rewarding. Yeah. Trust your journey. Trust that those little moments are going to add up over time.
Yes, that's perfect. And it is something to dwell on. So, for those of you listening, just go ahead, and you have to just press pause and rewind a little bit. But it's something to dwell on because you need to have faith in yourself. Like so let's break this down a little bit. Your confidence is just an external representation of the way you feel about yourself on the inside. So you need true confidence. I'm not talking about the people who are like faking it. Yes. And sometimes you have to fake it till you make it or whatever, but I'm talking about the essence, right, of who you are is displayed via your confidence. Like, that's what it is. That's what people are seeing. They're seeing how you love yourself. They're seeing your posture. They're seeing your smile, your eye contact. They're just displays of how you're representing yourself, how you are showing what you feel about yourself. That has nothing to do with the other people. So in order to do that, because just like the leaves on all the trees, we go through different seasons in life. The darkness does not avoid anyone. We all get touched by some dark season. Some may seem longer than others or deeper than others or whatever, but we all get touched by adversity, challenges, disappointments, whatever they may be. But what needs to remain is that faith in yourself, so you can have that trust to say, okay, you know what? I've been here before, right? I've had hurt before. I've been broken up with. I've been fired, or whatever else, has happened to you. You've already overcome so much in your life. Sometimes it's easy to forget.
Yeah.
Right? We want to put it past us, right? We forgive and forget. We do all these things, and we just only want to think about the warm, fuzzy, positive moments that we like in our life, right? But the reality is they're all there. All of the experiences have come together to make us who we are, and to truly appreciate who we are as people or as women, we have to acknowledge those things, right? And they help us to navigate the next challenge. And you can remember, ooh, okay, yes, I was uncomfortable before, and I grew, and I just had to stay patient. And then it turned around. So I'm very glad that you put that out there for everybody, because like I said, it's so easy to forget. You're in a winning season, you're like, yes. And you take an L, you're like, wait a minute. I thought I was invincible. I thought I figured it out. I was never going to lose again.
Thought I figured it out. And life throws curveballs. I'm telling you.
It's like a Rubik's Cube, and the colors keep changing. And you're like, what?
Yes. But it's also, those dark moments that get you to those great moments. It's those uncomfortable moments that get you to the next opportunity or the next level. And I know, I'm sure people have heard that before, but it's so true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trust the journey. Trust yourself.
Yes.
Got this.
Powerful stuff. So the time always goes by way too fast on the show. I can never believe it. I'm like, what? I could just keep going and going and going, but we've all got things to do. We're highly effective professional women here. And professional, you could be, a professional housewife. Trust me, it's called a domestic engineer.
I love this.
Yes, you're a home organizer. I got a lot of different titles, okay? So just because I throw out the title professional woman does not mean it cannot apply to you, whether you have children or not. I was a housewife before I was a stay-at-home mom or a work-from-home mom. So trust me, I've been there. But the point is, we are women on a mission. We've got things to do, and we're going to wrap it up here. So we've had a lot of deep moments, a lot of great sound bites in the conversation so far, but it's now time for the final word. Okay, so it's the main thing you want to leave with everybody. And again, you could reiterate anything you've already said, or it could be something new and fresh. You're like, hey girl, don't forget, like this. Ooh, I told y'all it's time for the final word. This is the main thing. So share with us the final word. Go ahead.
I am going to share my life mantra. Mm-hmm. That is to always leave people better than you found them. Always.
There it is. Always leave people better than you found them, because it's not about you. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all, my good girlfriend, like I said, a true treasure. And I am just so grateful that you chose to spend time with us. And I know you want more. So here's the thing. In the description of the episode, you've got more information about how you can stay connected with my good girlfriend here. You've got her website. You can go ahead and click. Follow her on Instagram. Just get plugged in and stay plugged in, because I can promise you she's going to leave you better every single week. Every single post, every single message. Just subscribe to everything she has, because it is going to truly change your life. And gosh, I've always just been so blessed just every time we interact. So thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. So stay tuned for some special announcements. I love y'all, and I'm so grateful that y'all love me. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for tuning into another empowering episode of Crown Level Confidence with Kalia Janae. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation and found it both insightful and inspiring. If you'd like to be a featured guest on the show and share your journey of confidence and self-belief, please reach out to me at podcast@kaliajanae.com. I'm always eager to connect with remarkable individuals who have a story to tell. And for those interested in connecting with me for speaking engagements or mindset coaching, you can find more information on my website, KaliaJanae.com. I'd love to hear from you and explore how we can work together to inspire and empower others. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode filled with actionable tips and heartfelt stories. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd truly appreciate it if you could leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and inspire even more people to straighten their crowns. Remember, your journey to unstoppable confidence is a continuous adventure. I'm happy to support you every step of the way. Keep believing in yourself, keep shining, and always wear your crown with pride. Until next time, this is Kalia Janae, your host, signing off. Stay confident, stay empowered, and keep leveling up.